We're going to play some games. Mm-hmm. We're going to have like fun, footloose, fancy-free summer cocktails with Ben.
Yep.
But it'll still be political. I think we're still going to be.
And
I told him keep the cocktails politically themed. I'm honestly a little bit worried. I'm actually kind of scared what he brought.
I am too a little bit. I got a peek at something and I was looking at it. He was like, you don't need to look at that.
Is it like a Lindsey Graham's corpse? Like what is it? Corpse Reviver? Lindsey Graham's Corpse Reviver?
Can I tell you
wait,
something?
Lindsey Graham is dead. We did not cover this on the pod. We could talk about it with Ben.
We can.
We'll be right back.
We will.
With the poppers that killed Lindsey Graham. Welcome to Brief Recess. I'm Michael Foote.
And I'm Mélissa Malebranche.
Today we're going to talk about how FIFA is finally over. We're going to talk about the recent wave of ICE shootings in America and everything that's happening with DHS. I'll give you the full rundown. But then we are going to have like a total different tone shift and have a little summer break. We're going to make drinks with my good friend, Ben Hopkins Prager. And we're going to make summer cocktails and we're just going to have fun and play a game that is may or may not be based on the life and death of Lindsey Graham. So stick around. My friend in college, someone dipped her cigarette in Coca-Cola.
Oh my God. That should be criminal, is it not?
I mean, I think it is. I think it's like drugging someone. If you dip someone's cigarette in cocaine, she was tripping.
That's really, really bad,
Yeah, it was
actually.
crazy.
Michael and I were just talking, so I've said this many times before. I've had bariatric surgery and I am still
a long time ago, not recently.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I think it's like 12 years ago. I'm just saying. So
I was just imagining people sending you flowers like,
no, I'm okay.
Feel better, get
well soon.
It's been a decade.
So I was a part of a bariatric support group and I still get messages for meetings and things like that. I was never comfortable eating things in a group like that.
Like there was like outings or events,
right?
Yeah.
And I understand it's sort of a way to get to know people, which is great. But I always felt like that stuff would trigger my eating, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure other people can do it and it's fine. But for me, I've always been really anxious about anything that is sort of like a buffet style of thing. For me. And so
especially because like a lot of people who get people get bariatric surgery for many different reasons. Some of it is like addictive behavior.
For me, it was that and sort of just being overweight. So not just overweight, like really obese. So it just always makes me feel a little bit like I don't want to.
Yeah, it reminds me of my friends who are alcoholics. Some of them will like come to the club all night and not ever
have a drink.
No. Yeah, no.
Right.
Or some people are like, no. Like I can't even be around it at all.
They can't be around it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just sort of like different recoveries for.
I was going to say someone's addiction and their recovery is theirs. Right. And so there's no one way for everybody. But every time I get an invitation to something like that, especially if it's like a buffet situation, if I can go somewhere and order my meal myself, I'm fine. But like, that volume of food makes me uncomfortable.
I was listening to something. The buffets in Vegas are disappearing this weekend. They were talking, there was a NPR show I was driving. This weekend was wild, by the way.
I heard.
World Cup?
Yeah.
Is it fucking over yet?
It is over.
I am so sick of hearing FIFA this, FIFA that, World Cup. I'm so over it. I've had it up to here. I don't want to see. Melissa's so mad. I don't care.
I'm not mad.
You can come for me.
First of all, you don't have to tell me that I can come for you.
No, you at home.
Oh,
I'm
speaking of coming for me.
I'm so sick of World Cup.
But okay, do you feel the same way about the Olympics? Like towards the end of the Olympics, do you feel like
this feels like being in New York? We're not having Olympics Times Square. Like this is like in the middle of New York was the World Cup.
No,
like it was like all over New York.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't. I thought it was. Where was it?
Sitting there trying
where
to be,
was it? CJ, where was it?
It was all over, right?
It was a traveling.
3 different countries.
Yes.
It was in 3 different countries.
The idea was it was in North America.
I thought it was like in New Jersey the whole time.
No. So some of it was in New Jersey. Sometimes a few matches were in
I'm in traffic to Newark.
Miami.
Oh, okay.
In Canada.
Boston.
Boston. I didn't know about Boston.
Oh, that's right. I did know about Boston. Okay, that's true.
Oh, that's right. The Scots drink all the beer.
That's right. Okay. That makes a lot more sense now. I was like, why are all these Scottish people in Boston? Okay. You know what? I will stand corrected, but Boston, I still got beef with you.
Okay. We're going to have to really address that.
Yeah, please.
Okay. I don't know if today's the day.
This is the testimony of Michael Foote.
Okay.
In Michael v. Boston.
And I think people, maybe this is not the day, but listen, friends, I promise we're going to get into it because I know that's what the people want. And we are here to serve at the pleasure of the people.
All right, let's get into a sidebar because we have to get into it.
Yes, we do.
Because this weekend was crazy. Yes, because of the World Cup, but also a lot was happening in ICE headlines and immigration in America.
For sure.
There are protests in America. There was someone lit a fire outside the courthouse that I go to this morning. So that was a little chaotic. There's just a lot going on. A couple people have been killed by ICE officers in America lately. Federal agents around the country were told in recent days that the FBI would no longer investigate confrontations with immigrant agents, cases that sometimes yield evidence that could be used to prosecute DHS agents for the, things they're implicated in, according to people who were briefed. So that was in the Times this morning that basically the FBI told ICE, don't worry, we're not investigating your officers.
Is that what they said?
Effectively, per the New York Times, that was like the sentiment. And that was according to people briefed on the decision.
That's actually really...
I'm making sure I'm reading it right because that is a wild thing to say and I don't want to be wrong about it, but
people will
federal
come for you.
agents around the country were told in recent days that the FBI would no longer investigate confrontations with immigration agents.
I mean, we've talked about this lots. All of this is so distressing, and every time you think that it can't get worse, it does. So it just feels like, so now we cannot count on the FBI to just sort of and I understand that probably we should never have trusted the FBI, but it's never been so blatant. Do you know what I mean? For them to just sort of say, basically, we're in the back pocket of the president, right? Because the FBI is supposed to serve the country, not just one administration,
and I'll say that just because the FBI isn't investigating these officers, obviously condemning that message being given to ICE agents. I mean, the FBI is supposed to be checks and balances across the nation. It's not just serving at the president's leisure. And just because the FBI is not investigating an ICE agent for their behavior doesn't mean a state won't, right? They're separate agencies for a reason. The states are separate from the federal government for a reason. So we're basically looking to the states to save us from the federal government and the behavior of the FBI and DHS. Right? I mean, that's sort of a position that we've been put in.
I mean, that's what it sounds like. I'm just sort of thinking about this. How do we come back from this? What is going to happen? And so, because I know you had said before, other episodes, and whenever you and I have talked about it, that if we are patient, right, eventually this administration will no longer be in place, and those people will get prosecuted. Will they still? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, if they're not pardoned by Trump, even if Trump tries to pardon many of those ICE officers, there's a strong possibility they can still get prosecuted in the state, even if Trump tries to pardon them. What basically happens is state prosecutors would have to bring an argument. There would be a preemptory challenge in court before that pardoning. So I doubt there's any ICE agents that listen to my podcast. But I will say, if you are listening or if you know any of them and you want to pass along that message, the likelihood of you getting pardoned for your behavior on the job by this president it has literally never happened in the history of the world, ever. He has never pardoned an ICE agent. And if he wanted to, it's not just a blank check he would write and then you're scot-free. It does not work like that. He could attempt to do that, and then the states could bring charges, and then it would get battled out in court. And it would take a long time, and it would be expensive, and it would still probably ruin your life. There's still so much that would happen. You would be in court for so long and possibly brought up on criminal charges. This is basically what I'm trying to say is it is like yes, you could technically get pardoned, but there are a lot of technicalities that would go into that equation, and it wouldn't necessarily come out with you on top, is how I want to sort of phrase that.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, there were a couple people were killed. Someone was killed in Maine. Someone was killed in Texas a couple weeks ago. There were Chicago. There were protests outside of Susan Collins's office. She voted to fund ICE the day before. And then in her own state, she's up for re-election this fall. Every week we come in here and we say we're at an inflection point. I don't know how many more inflection points I have in me.
It's like, remember during COVID when people kept on saying during these unprecedented times? You know what I'm saying? And to the point where it was ad nauseum, right? Like you heard it constantly. And that's what, we're at an inflection point. Well, weren't we at an inflection point the day before yesterday? Like there's always something.
Alexa, what's another word for unprecedented inflection? It's also one of these things where I feel like because we're always at an inflection point, our power in our choices as civilians in America, it feels like it's getting stronger and stronger. Every repost, every boycott, every protest, every conversation, every choice we make informs whether or not ICE gets funding, whether or not that person up for election, right? Like, because we have the midterms right around the corner. And because everyone is so focused on those elections and every little thing that's happening in America right now around immigrants, but also, you know, the reflecting pool, also like every little thing that Trump does.
The reflecting pool or the reflection pool? We're going to talk about that in a second.
But because everyone's so keyed in on what's happening, it feels like 10 years ago, people would have been like, oh, AT&T is a contractor for ICE. What's ICE? What's DHS? Like, you know what I mean? There is this like level of consciousness.
We're much more informed about different aspects of how the government operates, especially because of the way this particular president is weaponizing that.
So, you know, I've got 19-year-old cousins who are aware that Jeff Bezos and the Met Gala and the people who attended the Met Gala, they don't like anymore because they went when Jeff Bezos, I was like, this is kind of incredible that you are so aware of what's happening. I was aware of 100s versus regular menthol cigarettes when I was 19.
Okay.
And you are.
So just hang on though about that. So I could say the same thing, right? And so, but we did not have access to the information that these kids have access
That's true.
Right? We did not have that.
Of information.
And there is so much information being shoved down our throats, right? We have to be discerning and be careful about what information that we're taking in, right? So while I think it's great that a 19-year-old could have the wherewithal to say, you know what, I am now going not to support this artist that I really liked. I'm not going to go to their concerts anymore because they did this thing is great. I think my fear is, where are they getting this information from? Is it coming from like TikTok? Or is it coming from an unbiased news source, right? Which is really hard to find. So it's good, and I think it's great.
It definitely warts and all.
Yeah.
It comes with its downside. I read something 30% of Gen Z gets their information from new media, like talking people on TikTok, like me. I mean, I'm one of them, and that's where they get their news from.
Which is
good and bad.
Good and bad. The thing is that where can you go to get unbiased information, right? Like I have found for me that if I go to news sources outside of the United States,
that's definitely true.
That's a better way, because there are things. I have had friends or family who are like in Canada, for example, who are like, oh, yada, yada, yada. And I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about that thing.
You were telling me about the guy in Russia who had no idea there was a war in his own country.
That's right.
Yes, the censorship. I was thinking about that with how so many of the media companies in America are now owned by the same corporations.
And that's the thing, right?
That 10 years ago,
it wasn't that way.
The local station, the local newspaper. And that's where you would get your local news, right? And now it's all owned by a couple giant conglomerates.
And when that happens, can you really count on that news being the actual
unfiltered,
the actual truth of it all? You can't.
Yeah. Like I was thinking about traffic stops. When I was coming up, it was like, we didn't know our rights at the traffic stop. Like when I was being, you're getting your license, they're not like, this is what happens if you get pulled over. But now so many people are aware of what to do if they get pulled over, what their rights are. People are recording. We're suddenly seeing this level of accountability with police officers. ICE officers this week were ordered to stop questioning people's immigration and pulling people over because ICE officers have been doing this. But they've been ordered as of this week to stop doing that because people were killed.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to cover anything up. I'm not sugarcoating anything. Like they were shot by ICE officers.
100%. The thing about it is that, again, I feel like with this administration, especially, and I kind of don't mean to pick on them, but I do. Everything that they do they sort of always seem to be flying by the seat of their pants, right? Yeah. So they will give a directive, realize that it doesn't work, and then dial it back. It's like, do you remember when we had Seth on talking about Action Park?
Yes.
How they would just, oh, you know what? I'm going to dream something up. I'm going to try something.
Draw it on the back of a napkin.
And like put it in place. Yeah. Oh, somebody broke their neck. Maybe we shouldn't do that anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? This is what is happening. Yeah. And it should be concerning for everybody.
Yeah, it's not.
This is not like
it's not partisan.
No, it should. Well, it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't
right?
be.
It shouldn't be. Sorry. Did you hear that? Sorry. Obviously cut that out.
Is everyone okay? No, keep it. Well, now we're looky-loos.
I know.
What?
We're so nosy.
Did someone just go flying down this?
That was our guest.
Oh, it's our
Walk
guest.
into the green room.
Oh, that door. Oh, okay. Yeah. That door is crazy. Anyway.
The door to our green room, guys, it strikes fear into my, because sometimes we're talking about really scary shit and then a bang goes off.
Well, the thing about it is that it's not consistent. Sometimes it's like a soft close and other time it could take your head off.
Right. Yes. It depends on that.
It depends. Really Maybe it's upset with us too. I don't know. But
it's a paid crisis actor. It's Antifa. It's Antifa, guys. Antifa. The deep state. Yeah. So it was a crazy weekend because I had to work the whole time. And I have off. I took a couple days off. I figured it would be fun if we turned the party a little bit on brief recess.
Turn it up.
We played some games. Okay, so I invited my friend Ben, who is maybe the most demented person I know, and I would say that to his face. Sure. It might be on his business card, but he is a bartender. He's the internet's favorite bartender.
Okay.
And I brought him here to bring some drinks. We're going to play some games. We're going to have like fun, footloose, fancy-free summer cocktails with Ben.
Yep.
But it'll still be political. I think we're still going to be.
And
I told him keep the cocktails politically themed. I'm honestly a little bit worried. I'm actually kind of scared what he brought.
I am too a little bit. I got a peek at something and I was looking at it. He was like, you don't need to look at that.
Is it like a Lindsey Graham's corpse? Like what is it? Corpse Reviver? Lindsey Graham's Corpse Reviver?
Can I tell you
wait,
something?
Lindsey Graham is dead. We did not cover this on the pod. We can talk about it with Ben.
We can.
We'll be right back.
We will.
With the poppers that killed Lindsey Graham. Ben is a non-binary bartender and drinks writer living in Brooklyn. They learned their craft from Momofuku Sambar. Why did you give me this tongue twister? Okay.
I thought you knew how to read, aren't you?
Please don't tell.
Is he?
Really?
He's the beverage director for Olive Juice Hospitality. Your work is featured in New York Times, The New Yorker, Bon Appetit, Bloomberg Food and Wine Magazine, Eater. This bio is too long for me to finish. Please welcome Ben.
Yay!
Are you clapping?
Welcome.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks
You made everyone gonna clap for you, you slut.
Well, you have to be sort of the vacuous void that you want to see in the world.
And that's you
got to fill it with clapping.
People like that get knocked over on the E train all the time. Yeah.
Sometimes
all right.
kicked.
So you got shoved?
I didn't get shoved. I got sort of like aggressively bloused by a guy who had like, you ever been to like a barbecue and they have like two speakers on poles? So so it's like happy birthday grandma kind of energy. Yeah. So he had one of those.
Like a Bushwick party.
Period. Or like a bad DIY band, whatever. Like so like there was a guy carrying a speaker and I was carrying my ice from the bar that I work at and like all of my crap that's over here. And he like pivoted and like didn't like keep it on his shoulder. He kind of went like, yeah. And I was like, whoa. And I like ducked under it and fell on the ground. And he was like, watch it.
Wow.
And I broke my lime juice. So I had to go get some at a very nice deli, and shout out to the people down the road who gave me 2 ounces of, they weren't exactly happy to give it to me, but they did give me 2 ounces.
They gave it to you?
I purchased it for $1.47.
Okay, we're going to reimburse. We're going to submit that receipt to you.
I'm going to call Bob iHeartRadio about that and get that
Bob iHeart.
Bob iHeart. It's a Polish name.
So we thought we'd bring Ben on to play some games, and we're going to do summer cocktails. So
yay!
Thank you for bringing your incredible cocktail setup.
Of course. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm going to start by making yours first because it's a matter of scooping and doing things. So this is a Negroni that I have been making. These are both drinks that honestly I've been making for myself in my apartment lately.
Okay.
And kind of have brought to the bar. I'm currently working at Millie's in Bed-Stuy, which is a fantastic neighborhood bar.
And I went there a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and you wanted straight vodka.
I don't know how I got home.
I don't know how you get
ever
anywhere.
get home?
You don't have a phone case.
Honestly, I think Brad got me home.
Well, shout out to Brad. Thank you for being
He's a sociopath with no phone case.
So what is that?
So this is going to be a little bit of gin that's distilled with both watermelon rinds and cucumbers. So it's nice and round.
Wow.
It has a super minimal juniper component in it. So like it's definitely still gin because it has to have juniper to be gin, but it really has like a nice like sort of more vegetal backbone.
So people at home, couple ounces of gin.
So we got 1.5 ounces of gin, and I'm going to try to get some ice out of this horrible flaggard.
That looks good ice.
I'm trying. Yeah, I brought it from the bar because I have a very,
really nice
very
ice.
Specific kind of autism that requires this kind of comfort. And then it's going to be 1/2 ounce of a Bitter Bianco, which is going to be like a white bitter, and then 1 ounce of Blanc Vermouth. So Bitter Bianco, my opinion on white Negronis is that, there's a product called Suze. If you guys have ever had it before, it's a gentian liqueur. It's kind of like
I've heard of it, yes.
Hangover PP yellow. And it's fab stuff, but it's too intense to make it a Negroni. And also a white Negroni should probably be clear in my mind. So, it's that. And then I'm not done. Is hungover PP yellow not appropriate?
Just watch. Stir a drink on the show.
My parents are
talking
cousins.
nonstop.
Anyway, so then after that,
Ben came on and just said,
I said, Mama, turn it on.
Give me a hot mic and a camera.
Will you please let him?
Let me finish. So then, and now here's an important tip at home. Like if you're a lot of things in bartending, you're like, oh, I want to make this flavor, that flavor. You don't have to shake or stir everything. I think is important to know. A lot of, for example, like watermelon, like honeydew, something that's sort of gentle, like coconut water, even some vinegars and stuff like that. Things really denature, like what you think about it. Like when you're like adding air to it or whatever. A lot of the drinks I make, like this has 1/2 ounce of coconut water in it. We're just going to measure it after we stir down properly, like you do for a regular Negroni. And then all you have to do is just take a spoon and very gently like lift the cubes up. And then that displaces it and incorporates everything.
Oh, that's cool. I noticed at the bar you weren't shaking a lot.
I mean, I do. You shake things with citrus, but like I really like. I think that bartending, like all things in the end, is a craft about doing the least work possible to make it taste the best possible. And at the end of the day, like this is just going to break into pieces if I stir it.
Why complicate?
Really big lime twist, and we're going to twist it in, put it on the side. Michael, this is for you.
That's a big lime twist.
Well, I'm calling this the Big Sissy White Negroni. And if you want to get the recipe for it, these fine people back here, Justin, can you, there you go, honey. Cheers.
Come on my show and absolutely roast me.
Taste it, because I want to taste it after.
Okay.
I mean, in between powdering your
head.
We
should cheers or no?
You better wait to cheers.
We'll do it.
Okay. I have to make yours now too.
Yeah, we're going to make all the drinks. And
Big Sissy White Negroni. Everyone clap for the Big Sissy White Negroni. Thank you.
Thank you.
Finally, some attention around here. What is this, a public library? Okay, now for you.
Okay.
So I have brought a little bit of Clairin to the station. Obviously, know your background. Clairin is one of my
paying attention.
Well, Clairin is one of like the most incredible spirits in the book, especially for bartenders love daiquiris. I love daiquiris. Daiquiris are oftentimes have like it's the equivalent of like a line cook making an egg, it's a test of skill and technique. And this is a daiquiri that I've been making for myself at home very often.
And Clairin's a Haitian rum.
Clairin is, it means, clear. Yeah. Clear. And this is, forgive my pronunciation, is sans ange, which means without angels.
Right.
So ostensibly, this is a Clairin that is unaged. It doesn't have an angel share, which is what in making of whiskey is the amount that is lost in the aging process. So it's saying that it's just straight up Clairin, like cachaça, or for all the bartenders out there, I'm making this in a weird order and it's for camera, and you better relax. So hold on.
They will. They'll come for you.
They will. They will. Come for us all the time.
They come for us for things we don't even think.
They're like, why does that queen not have a phone case? What is wrong with her?
And I'm going to get a phone case just because people keep talking.
It's like you're a sociopath.
It's like you don't know when it's raining outside. But anyway, Clairin is made of sugarcane juice, so you get all that interesting sort of vegetal note to it. Like you get sort of an interesting, almost yogurty smell. And what I really think about in a great Clairin is like intense, wild yeast. Like you can never really know how it's going to interact. There's going to be a lot of interesting vegetal aroma. So that's what I really want to play with here. So we're going to do 1 ounce of lime juice. Shout out to the homies at the bodega who gave me this.
Yeah,
bodega save.
Love them. I'm building this backwards again. And we're going to just really simple, 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup. And then this is where things get, sort of off classic. This is Peychaud's bitters. Peychaud's bitters is typical in something like a Sazerac. It's made in New Orleans. It is an anisette bitter. But again, it's sort of another blend of herbs and spices, but anise is a big flavor. And we're going to do like 7 or 8 dashes in here.
Wow.
Because with Clairin, I was talking to one of the nice producers in this iHeartRadio fun box earlier.
Which one?
I'm Human Man with a Beard. And,
oh, I know that one.
Yeah.
They're everywhere around here. And so what I was saying to him is that bartending is more of an act of styling than it is like cooking. I really feel like, it's so hard to make these products like rum, like whiskey, gin. I'm not someone who professes to be a cook. It's just about putting flavors together from all of the hard work the producers have already made. So, adding another vegetal flavor to Clairin through bitters is just a way to reveal the flavors in the Clairin itself. So, here we go. All right, put it in here. We're going to shake it. Everyone can clap for me while I'm shaking. Oh, thank you. I've never done this sitting down. Too much clapping.
I like that.
I'm too desperate. All right. Ooh,
oh,
that felt nice. What? Do you think I was going to use
Ben, this is your show.
You think I was going to use my limp wrist to smack it open, darling? No. Okay. This glass has been chilling. I brought this from home because it seemed like it would, if I've been listening properly enough to the pod, you deserve this glass.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Here we go. And again, it's nice and...
Oh, and it's a pretty color.
Yeah, but it's not really like a pink flavor. It's just it's really just that anisette quality to it.
Well, what is a pink flavor?
I'm going to let Michael answer that question. So here we go. Well, here we go. All right. And there you go.
Are we clinking?
We're about to clink.
Ben's got to make his
I'm going to make my drink for myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so very important. Bartenders would say that you put the bitters in first, but for the dramatic reveal of the cocktail in this thing, I wanted to do it last.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you really buck tradition.
Well, Buck Tradition is going to be performing at Pieces nightclub in the West Village tonight.
Buck Tradition. Actually, I saw that video. Actually, the pizza gets delivered at the end.
The pizza gets delivered at the end.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Oh, I'm exhausted." Oh, there's a pizza.
The pizza gets delivered.
Does the copier get fixed? Does the copier ever get fixed?
Not the accountability.
The
plumber shows up.
I'm gonna take a shower. The plumber's like, "Hey, the toilet's it's all set." Great.
The plumber's always.
Well, speaking of things not going to plan, I made a drink for myself. Thinking of the passing of one. Speaking of Pieces, Lindsey Graham. She's gone, but she's sort of not forgotten.
Gone in a legendary way.
Lindsey, as we've seen on some of her media appearances, maybe had been
in a sling,
fond of a drink. Let's just say that.
Oh yeah.
And no one could ever say what Lindsey Graham drank, but from my sources, this is what I imagine she did. So this is some room temperature Kim Crawford white wine. Pour that bitch in there. Yeah, baby. And then listen.
Room temperature.
Room temperature Kim Crawford.
Here we go. Yep. And this is a little bit of Southern comfort. We're going to put that in there.
That's right.
Oh my God.
We call it the white twink.
It just helps to go down a little. You don't want to be too crazy about that. Anyway, cheers, y'all.
Oh, that's it? That's what you
That's
get?
what, that's,
That's the Lindsey Graham.
You know, she was fiscally responsible. So they call that the 1-2 step.
Cheers,
Cheers,
thank
everybody.
you. Oh my God. CJ, this is good.
I know.
Really nice.
Thank you.
I know. That's
So,
just like cucumbers.
To me, though, again, I taste a lot of Clairin in that,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just about giving it a little bit of seasoning to like push that vegetable quality forward. And
I like
again,
that.
This is really good.
for me, I was told by a colleague of mine that I touch my nose too much when I'm bartending. So thank you to my friend Truck. Anyway,
This is also really good. And I have to tell you, not usually the kind of thing that I would drink.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
I prefer like that. Got some sweetness to it.
I don't like
This
any
does-
sweetness.
This does also, but not in a sugary sweet way.
Yeah, it has texture, which I think allows like I always think about like bartending, and this is going to sound so like tradey and weird. Tradey is like okay. Like no, but like when it comes
Wink,
to
wink.
when it comes to spirits though, like things need to have a shelf for flavors to sit on. Like and so
Yeah.
something like a good portion of gin, of vermouth that has like solid like chemical texture to it, and then like can allow something like coconut water and like intense lime oil to really sit together. You got to think about like
This is really nice.
when you're putting drinks together, like can they be friends with each other? You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Yeah.
and I think also again temperature is a big factor of that. Like having that glass be cold is what is enjoyable about
It's
it.
half the battle.
It is, and
It's
it's 3
getting the
times
glass
the
cold.
party. Much like what I just put into my
You
system.
just drank. You pounded your drink.
Much like
Ben.
Lindsey Graham.
Yeah.
Oh my
The
God.
pounding, the pounding was summarily delivered.
I'm dead.
Oh God!
Did that taste good?
I don't think Lindsey was in it for the taste.
Okay.
That's true.
I think
Okay.
that he was in
Yeah.
it for the.
Well,
The
he was
after effects.
She said smacks of compromat.
Yeah.
Anyway,
at the Disney World.
with
Disney World on
that was so
vacation
fab.
with the bubble wand.
I better take
When
this
he was
off.
That
out
was
there
the
looking
last
daft.
thing we
She
saw.
said, well, I don't got much time left. Better
Yeah.
check this off the list.
Listen, okay.
Yeah. But now we have a
so
beverage.
CJ has been so generous and prepared some games for us to play.
That's so fun. I
while we
love
all
games.
take a reprieve from the fascist society that we're surviving
It's wonderful.
on a
to do.
day-to-day basis. We thought it would be fun to play some games with you.
Great.
We need we come to this place for magic.
I love
Look
that
at
so
this.
much.
Melissa's
Sorry,
getting
the Kim
lit.
Crawford just hit my my L3 in my
I
spine.
hope people meet drunk Melissa because it's
Drunk Melissa.
hysterical.
What's she
Melissa.
like? Tell me about her.
She's drunken outside.
She's outside.
And the voice gets deep like
You know what's
that.
really interesting
You know
is
what?
that I, when I was younger, like in my 20s and stuff, I could go out with the best of them, drink.
Yeah.
And then something happened to me like in my mid 40s. And I wanted to, so during the pandemic, Andre and I were having cocktails every night.
Right.
Because on my way home one day from a walk, there was a bookstore that had like an outdoor, like a
Great.
whatever, like a bookshelf or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And they were selling this book for like $1, old-timey cocktails. I was like, I'm going to get this.
Those are some of the best ones.
And I became enamored of gimlets and sidecars and
Yeah.
old fashions.
Oh,
And then perimenopause, see, I'm already drunk.
there it is.
Perimenopause hit me really hard.
Right.
And not even a drink would get me really drunk and bring on a hot flash, which
Really?
is oh my
Just
God.
a little bit would
A
send
little
sucks.
bit.
edge,
So,
yeah.
so perimenopause coupled with bariatric surgery and 2 sips, and I was
gone.
That's crazy.
And-
Yeah.
But it got to a place where it wasn't fun.
No,
Do you know
it's-
what
no,
I mean? It's
definitely
not
not.
fun at all. So lately, at the ripe old age of 54, she's coming back.
She's back to it.
She's back.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Not as much, but like I really appreciate a good cocktail.
And having one is enough. You know, honestly,
I
like,
mean-
Yeah.
well, like really though, like I have to say, like there's so much in the culture of over consuming. My
Mhm.
partner and I are both bartenders and
Mhm.
you know, my wife went from running, you know, very like sophisticated cocktail bars as I did to now she works at International Bar in the East Village,
Mhm.
which is an iconic dive that's open till 4
Yeah.
in the morning every
Mhm.
night. And, you know, it's like she has sort of also like, we've both gotten to the point in our journey with this of kind of being like, I just want one cocktail a night and then like maybe a beer. And then like, you know, because at this point it just hits different. Like I've, you know, anyway, I can have like 2 glasses of wine too and then feel a lot happier. Some of my friends are slamming their phones against the chair being like, liar. But
they have cases on their phones.
They do.
I would say, Mélissa.
Otterbox.
What? Otterbox. Saw that video. I saw that video too.
I know you did. But listen, if you need like a drinking doula person for cocktail recipes that are low ABV, I will give you my number and we'll talk about it.
Okay, great.
Definitely.
Because I do feel like we're going away soon. We're
Yeah.
going to be in a house with some people.
Where are you going?
Sag Harbor.
Oh, great. Yeah.
And I got a new book and I got a whole kit.
Cool.
I'm really excited about it.
Oh my God. Well, we have to talk. I'll like give you some recipes. You make it a batch. It'll be easy. Fun too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Batch cocktails are fun. And the bar that Ben bartends at, I think all the drinks are...
We batch the spirits, but, you know, like the citrus and stuff is fresh, but, you know...
And I was thinking the price point is...
Oh, it's super affordable.
Very affordable.
Yeah, I mean...
So no $28...
No, I was like very
I got a lot of flack earlier this year for saying on another friend's podcast that I don't think cocktails should cost more than $20. I mean, because it's just not that valuable of an asset, especially in New York. Again, people talk about this ridiculous thing of like Gen Z is not drinking. It's like, no one can afford to do anything.
Right.
So for me, as someone who builds bar programs, like, you know your margins on a drink. It's like charging $24, $26 for a drink is both unrealistic and it's not worth it like as an asset. And again, all this processing of like, oh, but it has like beef tallow from like the Himalayan mountains in it. I'm like, leave that up there. Like no one wants that.
Do you think that, so what you were saying earlier about like now like 1, maybe 2 cocktails is enough, right? So let's say you're having one $20 cocktail.
Yeah.
Maybe that is okay. Do you know what I mean? Like
totally. Yeah, I'd say like, oh yeah, and that price point for sure. And again, I think like 16 to 18 is where things really like tend to live when they're successful. I'm going to name that Negroni after the two of you.
No, she's so fun.
She's so I know. And again, it's that coconut water that doesn't
good.
It's the coconut water that doesn't
really
get stressed out and, you know, like denatured.
So this is the white Negroni. This is
the brief recess.
The brief recess Negroni. And
we just called it a brief recess.
Gin, just to recap so we can make, because I want to make this.
Yeah, it's 1.5 ounces of like a very like a subtle London dry gin, 1/2 ounce of bitter Bianco, and then 1 ounce of dry vermouth. Stir it, then add a 1/2 ounce of coconut water after the spin. Lift it up, lime twist, and a big boy lime twist.
And it's nice
because also remember, alcohol's a solvent.
You should make this in Sag Harbor.
Yeah. You can make it. You know what you can do? You can put it in the freezer. So you can just pour it out into a glass.
Ooh,
make
it.
So what you do is you batch the whole thing and then you add about like 20% dilution of percent of water to the total batch, and then just pour it out of the bottle.
Okay, iconic. 20%. CJ, walk us through the rules of our first game, please.
Show us the game. Okay. Where's my Lindsey Graham drink?
You drank it, girl.
I think she did. She's like, I need one more Ladybug for the road.
You need a Mitch McConnell vegetable.
Do you know, I didn't know.
It's a vegetable Bloody Mary.
Did you know that I did not know about the Ladybug?
Really?
It is wild. Okay,
I mean, I read about it. I read about it.
Why do I have to? You do it. It's your show.
Okay.
I mean, I can do it.
Okay, you want to do it? Okay.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I did not know about this, and I read about it. I was just like, Ladybug. So I go and I look and I look and I look. And apparently, allegedly, Lindsey went to go meet a sex worker.
Sex worker.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the sex worker went into the bathroom to get prepared, as one does.
Sure.
And came out, and Miss Lindsey was on all fours, ass up.
She was ready.
And the worker said, did you clean up? And Lindsey was like, of course I did. And then, but the worker's looking and they're like, I don't know, because I see some stuff and I don't understand what's going on.
And we all know this because of the worker said something.
The worker said so.
There was sort of like a referendum on his
right.
Referendum.
That's what who told?
And so worker, I forget what the name of the person was, but worker goes and tries to wipe the area off.
Oh, wipe the area.
And Lindsey says, oh, those are just my ladybugs.
Oh.
And worker was like, ew, can't do it. Walked out. Now here's
Walked out?
That's what I think I heard.
Oh, wow.
But I feel like, so this is the thing. I am always fascinated by people who are like, this is so off-putting to me that I'm willing to leave money on the table. I'm walking away from the dollars.
Sounds like a few of my bar contracts.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so awful.
Yeah.
And I also think what's really
walk
interesting.
away from all the money.
But also, like,
for that reason, I'm out.
But also as a sex worker, I think about all the things that you've seen.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is the thing.
And that just, what is beyond the pale?
It is
it's
too much.
Miss Lindsey and her bug collection.
I love, like, I have friends who were sex workers in their 20s, and I love hearing their stories about the crazy things they've seen, because they've really, so many people are sex workers. Of course. They just have the best stories.
They have really good stories. So I had a friend of mine who was a sex worker, and he'd fallen upon hard times and had tricks coming to his home. And his most loyal John was a Hasidic man.
Oh, classic.
Who had a sort of like a excuse me, a black man
like a fetish.
Like a fetish, but like it couldn't just be like any old guy. He had him like dressed up as like a corporate baddie, right? So he had to be like full on suit, briefcase.
But like Wolf of Wall Street?
Yes, very much. And so very much, well, because this was like the 90s, right? This is back in
it was actually Wolf of Wall Street.
It was actually, and this is like sort of back in Mother's heyday. And I found that so interesting because the fetish is like weird to me, but you know, I'm not sex shaming. Like you're into what you're into. But like what
would your friend say about it? He'd be like, I gotta get the suit ironed.
Oh yeah, he was just like, I'm running out of suits.
Call the dry cleaner.
Gotta go to Brooks Brothers.
I'm running out of suits. But like a lot of his
Sorry.
A lot of his best customers were like these sort of like wealthy or like super duper. You know who
Cruz
you look like?
Well, like the guy from Wolf of Wall Street.
You look like Harry Potter.
You do.
Do I really?
Yeah.
Just now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we're the same height, me and Dan Radcliffe.
Are you?
No, you're not. He's like half your size.
No.
He's 5'2".
He's petite.
He's a delicious little snack.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of like a long lunch tray of a woman.
A lunchable.
Anyway, so the Wolf of Wall Street.
But that was like this guy's thing.
That's crazy.
I know. You know what I keep on thinking about? I mean, this is sort of a little bit more serious, but like, you know, this is the same person who's not going back to his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And,
children.
You know, and wife and children and having unprotected sex with her.
Oh my God.
Do you know what I mean? Anyway.
Well, you know, and I didn't mean that flippantly. Like, you know, I have many friends of mine in Brooklyn, sex workers that are patronized by members of the Hasidic community. And it's like, it's a thing. It's a thing. And
it's a real, and I mean, and I think that that's what happens when you live in a society where you are so not allowed to be yourself.
Yeah, of course.
And it comes out in ways like that.
Yeah.
And it actually makes me feel terrible.
We
should be allowed to be who we are.
Yes. Yeah.
That makes me want to make one more Lindsey Graham.
Please, by all means.
What do you mean?
One more Ladybug. This is just no. That is Southern
Clairin.
Comfort. This is Southern Comfort.
I thought it was actually.
I brought it in Southern Comfort's a state of mind.
I thought it was poppers.
This game seems really fun.
Mm-hmm. Because you've never done poppers.
Ooh, no, never.
Okay, and
Amsterdam sponsor me. Okay, let's do
hard cut to the game. The brief recess.
Oh, this looks fun.
This looks fun.
Well, we'll show you, dear.
We'll show you.
Perimenopause is gonna hate those.
Perimenopause hates a lot of things.
Or maybe she'll love it. Actually, I don't know. Okay, that's the game. This feels like an ADD test.
Okay. Round one.
Okay.
So CJ, explain the rules.
So we have 20 rounds. We don't have to get through all 20.
Do you think I can count that high, CJ?
CJ was optimistic.
Two of these are real headlines. One of them is a fake headline, and I'll click on, maybe we go one at a time. Michael, you go first. Okay. Whoever.
So we're all going to read a headline. The first one is man arrested for driving a ride-on lawnmower while intoxicated on a city street.
Okay.
Number two. You do number two.
Me as you.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
Man arrested for DUI while riding a horse and carrying an open container. Believable.
Man arrested after attempting to register a bar stool as his designated driver.
Well,
which one of these is real?
Register.
Right.
Which one is fake?
Which one is fake?
Two are real, one is fake.
Okay.
Two are real?
As someone vested, who grew up versed in sort of New England white drunk people culture,
The lawnmower's real.
the lawnmower and the second one is real.
Mm-hmm.
A man would never take the time to go to the registrar, like the DMV,
That's true.
to
Yeah.
line that
No
shit up.
man, and I'm assuming white man, would ever take the time
Dave
to register.
Smith
Yeah.
from
way.
Hamilton, Massachusetts.
That's true.
Are you locking that in?
Yeah,
Oh,
white
we're locking
people
that in,
wouldn't.
baby.
Yeah, wouldn't spend
Wait,
their
wait,
time.
wait. Are we agreeing as a collective or
Do you
individually?
do you agree?
No. I agree.
I agree
Because
as well.
I feel like
I
if someone brought a lawnmower in here, I would probably try and ride it.
Have you ridden a lawnmower?
Yeah, it seems
Yeah,
fun.
it's
I
fab.
actually will tell you, I know for a fact that the first one is real.
Yeah, it is real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know the guy?
So
Yeah.
locking
I
in.
used to go out with him.
His name was Lindsey Graham.
Okay, locking in the third
We're
one
locking in round
is
one.
fake because white men would never.
Correct.
Yay! Oh, look at that. It's awful.
Oh, wait. So when we win, how many? So at the end,
Wait,
we're gonna-
when we
wait.
win.
So at the end,
We get a Lindsey?
how many Lindsey Grahams did we get?
Oh no!
Please don't make me drink another Ladybug. I've been through enough.
Okay, round
round
two.
two.
Ben, what is the most overrated drink?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I mean
Eat them
the most
up.
overrated drink is the okay. There's a couple different ways to think about that because anything's good. Like honestly,
Sure.
I live in a place without shame. Like I think that a lot of bourbon tastes similar to each other because the way that bourbon is made it has a proprietary standard
Can
of
I
being
say
made.
something about bourbon?
It all tastes the same.
Bourbon, it's so much wood.
It's corn flavor.
I thought you liked wood.
I don't.
Well,
I
that's
feel
what
like
the
I'm
Blazer's about.
I feel like I'm licking a telephone pole.
Well,
I'm the girl from Hereditary
Mama,
in the
listen.
back seat.
So bourbon has to be 49% corn, like by its creation. So inherently it's going to be sweet. It has to be aged in new American oak. Like, so it's going to take on a lot of wood flavor. And to be bourbon, it has to have very specific stuff. With the other percentages, I think maybe 51%. Some bartender is going to be having a free time and talk to me about it in the chat.
Yeah.
I don't
Let
care.
him.
The long story short is that like the flavor profile of it has to be kind of more constrained. Like it's not like gin where it just has to have juniper and it can have like a whole pumpkin in it. So for me, is it overrated when I think there are premium brands that taste similar to like affordable brands, like, and there's brands that I feel like, to be frank, scam and like they have a raised price point and they're like, oh, this is worth $180 when it tastes similar to the workhorse brand.
Right.
I would say that experience is a little overrated because I think in a price conscious way.
So if you're buying a bourbon, go for like the middle of the road.
I would say like go for the brands that are reliable and don't play into any sort of like hype thing. Like so certain brands devalue the craft of it by being like, oh, today we have a Sprite remix bourbon, which is fun to do, but it's like dials in. It's like we make this in Kentucky and it's really delicious and I think it's made in Kentucky. You should have it. Apparently I know nothing about alcohol. I have one more Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham
round two.
took me over. Round 20. All right.
Ice rink employee arrested after attempting to complete a sobriety test while wearing hockey skates.
I got number 2. Zamboni driver arrested after spectators reported him driving erratically during a youth hockey game. Oh,
Zamboni driver convicted of operating the machine drunk during a high school.
I think this is
high school hockey
I think they're all real.
I think number 1 seems a little bizarre.
And number 2 is Zamboni arrested after spectators reported him driving erratically.
I mean, let's talk about it. I mean, like I have a cousin who drives a Zamboni.
Who hasn't?
He drove a Dodge Dart. And
my mom had a Dodge Dart when I was a kid.
My mom is your cousin. Right. That's how I feel like I knew you. Right. No, but he also, he ate mostly roast beef and he has like a couple missing teeth. So, but he was great at Zamboniing the ice.
I love roast beef.
I know you do.
I love roast
Do you know about
beef.
a North Shore roast beef from Massachusetts?
No, what's that?
Well, okay. It's just beef on bread. It is a top round of beef, like shaved thin with it's called James River barbecue sauce. It's just like a kind of like almost like a mop sauce style barbecue sauce. And it has to be made by a bunch of men and one cruel Greek woman with a large round hairstyle
and
yelling at them.
It's on a,
just like a potato roll.
On a potato roll.
My brother and I have a pop-up in New York that we do making this sandwich.
Okay, oh, you do?
Yeah. If I ever had money, I would open up a stand where we would
If you're
make
looking
it.
to invest, guys, he's right here.
I also teach bartending lessons, despite me not knowing anything about alcohol apparently in this lesson. Round 3.
I think round 1 is fake. fake.
No,
The first one.
No,
is
round
fake.
2, question 1.
Question 1.
Or whatever.
Round 2, question 1.
Yeah.
You think this is fake?
Yeah.
Attempting to complete it.
I need another Ladybug.
Yeah.
Yay!
Okay, round 1.
I
All
got
right.
it.
There you
Okay,
go.
I'm either really good at this or I know how CJ thinks.
Well, you're lawyers, so you should know things like that. Okay.
Also, by the way, I feel like, you know how when you get a DUI, they put a breathalyzer in your car to start it? I feel like for the Zamboni, it stops.
Yeah.
Like you have to.
you got to blow into a hockey
You
stick.
have to get drunk
blow
to do
into
it.
it.
I think you got to hit a slap shot at like mid ice. Did that pass? I like sports. I just don't know about that
Did
one.
that pass?
Did that pass?
He saw it on Heated Rivalry.
I haven't watched it yet.
You haven't watched it yet?
You haven't watched Heated Rivalry?
I have been watching Friends lately.
Okay, we're going to go to round 3.
My wife
'cause
thinks
I don't
it's
wanna-
funny. It's a funny show. It's surreal.
Surreal in what way?
Well, all the Simpsons actors are in the first season. Round 3.
what?
Okay, I'm reading number 1. Intoxicated man called 911 12 times to complain that a bar overcharged him. I believe that, actually.
Okay, man arrested after calling 911. Oh my God, I'm a little drunk. To ask whether happy hour legally had to last 60 minutes.
Kind of believe that.
Illinois man accused of drunkenly driving a lawnmower on a public road. That's real.
Yeah.
That's real.
Well, they have flat streets
911 12 times to complain that a bar overcharged him. I do feel like someone would do that.
I know that that's happened. Like I can.
So intoxicated man called 911 12 times to complain that a bar overcharged him. Do we think that that's fake?
I think that's real. No, I think that's real.
But what do you think about happy hour lasting an hour? I do feel like some little pain in the
I think
ass
it should
is
be
gonna
5 to 7, or if you open at 4 to 7.
Oh, legally had to. But this is, I'm imagining they were like, oh, happy hour specials are over. Yeah. And it was at 6:59.
I feel like,
you know what I mean?
I feel like if,
Okay. So we need to know which one is.
guys.
Which
I think
one
it's
is
the
fake.
bottom one.
You think no? I know the bottom one is real.
Oh, I don't know. All of this is plausible, but
Okay,
I've had a
I
really
think-
ridiculous life.
I think the second one is fake.
Yeah.
Let's do second one.
I know
is
number
fake.
1 is real. Yeah, like a real housewife would do number 1. Like that's Ramona
think
Singer.
I-
Yeah.
Wait, which
Okay.
one?
It was the second one.
The second one is
Yeah,
The
fake.
second one's
Okay,
fake.
cool.
Yeah. Okay. Round 4.
Trying to catch up to you guys.
Intoxicated men arrested
Oh, love
for
that.
trying to recreate beach volleyball scene from Top Gun in a Walmart.
I think that's real.
I think that's fucking real.
I think that's so real.
Also, I know number 2 is real because we got Florida Man at the top. Florida Man alleged.
That's real.
Sorry, I'm also blind. Allegedly faked a heart attack so his accomplice could push a cart full of toys on Walmart. First of all, I endorse that.
Iconic.
You should do it.
That's iconic.
Do it.
All of this is
Call
iconic.
Bob Walmart. Tell him to call Bob iHeartRadio.
Bob Walmart.
I don't care.
Drunk Amish man operating a horse and buggy hits police car. Slow speed chase ends in DUI.
First of all,
I think that's real.
that's real. And I also endorse the Amish because they make stuff.
They do make stuff.
They make funny stuff.
They make
They make
really
stuff.
good bread.
It's an oppressive
and
society.
pretzels.
I love. Do you like a pretzel?
I
feel like
love a
I feel like the
pretzel.
pretzel's disappearing from our society.
Melissa and I talk about pretzels.
What do you mean?
Nonstop.
What do you mean?
I don't feel okay. When I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
Clinton, right?
Mhm.
Take us back.
Think about it. Clinton, Blockbuster, we were all there.
Mhm.
I felt like there was a more like fecund pretzel economy in which you could get a basket of small pretzels
Yeah.
or a large one at the mall, Auntie Anne's.
They're doing Auntie Anne's in a truck around Soho now. I saw
Are
it
they really?
yesterday. Yeah.
Which one? Okay, let me ask you this. The Auntie Anne's pretzels, what kind are you getting?
All of them.
No.
I really
You gotta pick. You gotta pick one.
I'm not a
Ben.
sweet
Thank you.
person. I like the plain.
Ben.
I like the plain.
Ben.
I'm sorry,
Okay,
that was, I don't know
With
why
salt,
I did
plain
that.
with salt.
Answer.
Okay, outside the DMV in downtown Brooklyn, there's an Auntie Anne's manned by a man with nothing but hatred in his heart.
Okay.
Love
And
it.
I got to tell you something. Thank you to him.
What was it?
Because when I'm there,
What's your Auntie Anne's order?
I get the basket of the sweet ones in the thing. I know it's gross.
Sweet ones as in the cinnamon
cinnamon
sugar. Oh,
And then I get I get the diabetic
Ben,
lemonade and I
no.
feel my leg twitching and I'm like, baby, run
No,
that
baby.
back.
Yeah,
no,
run it back.
I think I'm with Michael.
But no,
It's gotta be
the real
salty.
one.
Hold on. I'm into the pretzel verse. Like I'm down for like all of it. I'm just
Said-
saying I feel like as a commodity,
Not the pretzel verse.
there used to be like a guy
In the pretzel-
walking around me like, yeah, pretzels, yeah.
Yeah, there were a
I've
lot
been
more
doing all
pretzels.
this all day. I'm dressed up like him right now, apparently.
And
This is
sometimes
insane.
when I get a pretzel from the pretzel guy, like like at the hot dog stand. Sometimes they're really good, but sometimes they've been there for 4 days.
Yes.
Because not that many people are ordering them.
I think that pretzels are supposed to be like soft.
Yeah.
Salty.
I'm not cracking a crown on a, If
these fake teeth aren't coming, I'm not gumming that pretzel.
Listen,
this
but you know what? I will if I have to.
Listen, I'm not gonna, I need to go home.
So I feel like, this week I had like a really weird eating week, but I felt like I was eating like sort of junky things that I normally don't eat and
like
felt
what?
really like potato chips and things like that. And I felt really like my mouth was on fire in a really weird way.
Yeah.
But like the pretzel is like a salve.
It is bland.
It's like bland. And I feel like it is the healthy junk.
We say this to ourselves.
It's what I tell myself.
We say this to ourselves.
I have a follow-up question. Yeah. So it's Auntie Anne's. What's the uncle's name? Is it Uncle Anne? Is Anne the last name?
Anne is
no, Auntie Anne is like Anne is her first name.
Yeah.
For those of you watching,
but what's the family name?
Left.
Is it Snyder's?
It's like Cher.
It's like Cher.
If you're interested in making a podcast for me, I'm very funny, and you should definitely book me or produce me, whatever you want to do. I've had one Lindsey Graham. Oh, back to it. So
I think that it's probably not the Florida Man, because I would do that.
I feel like the first one, someone did that for Instagram. It was like one of those TikTok houses.
Those who rush the Scientology.
The problem is that as we go on, all of them seem like they could be real. You know what I mean?
As we have more of these,
because we're all drunk. We're all like, I want to do that.
I know. I think
the Amish is real. Florida, I think we just have to assume anything that happens in Florida is real.
I mean, I saw the.
So maybe the Top Gun is fake, and that was just
I say
a
Top
porn
Gun's
we
fake.
watched.
What would Lindsey say?
Lindsey would say,
he'd be like, bomb it all.
Wait, the top one is fake?
We're 4 for 4.
Right.
CJ, are they all fake? Are we just getting it right?
No,
this is the second one?
Yeah.
Oh.
This is the third one.
It takes us to the actual article. CJ. Oh my God.
We got a drunk Amish guy.
We got a drunk Amish guy. Okay, round 5.
They make fabulous candles too.
We can do like 7 rounds if you want.
Okay, man trespassed from Walmart was arrested after allegedly leaving behind a backpack containing a sawed-off
So
shotgun.
plausible, like deeply plausible.
That is like, I think that
happened like 20 minutes ago.
That's one of my clients.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, second.
I'll be retaining you for similar charges. North Carolina, shout out to North Carolina. North Carolina man allegedly.
Why?
My family's from there.
Oh, okay.
My cousin Bradley is out on the beach right now trying to figure it out.
Just shouting out to states, Ben.
Shout out to.
He doesn't say why.
Why would I?
Listen, you don't have a phone case. You can't tell me nothing.
I know. And also, we're still in a free America. He can shout out North Carolina if he wants.
Thank you. I have perimenopause too. Okay, North Carolina man allegedly stuffed about $100 worth of Walmart steaks into his pants and fled on a moped. Plausible as absolute hell.
What's a moped? Is like a motorcycle.
Girl, you know what that is.
Come on.
It's like a Vespa.
Yeah, it's like a motorcycle.
No, it's like a Lindsey McGuire motorcycle.
Yeah,
a Lizzie McGuire.
Did I say Lindsey McGuire?
Lizzie McGuire.
You know what? The other day
I
was on the beach. Right. I was on the beach and I had a glass of wine and it was very hot. And I said, "What's that author's name? Elizabeth Dickinson."
Emily.
Although my friend very hilariously named his beach umbrella, our friend's beach umbrella, Emily Dickinson.
Read the third one. Mélissa.
Sorry.
This is her vision test.
Man allegedly concealed a Walmart television inside an oversized delivery pizza bag and escaped on rollerblades.
That is
I mean, I buy it. How's your rollerblading game?
It used to be good, but I haven't been on rollerblades in like 30 years.
I feel like the stopping mechanism was never fully fleshed out.
Why was it a pencil eraser?
And my dad used to do the cones. You know, all that team.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tim.
Tim in North Carolina.
Shout out to Massachusetts.
But is your dad, what generation is your dad? Gen X?
He is 64. So
he's a boomer.
Boomers loved rollerblading.
Yeah,
you can quote me on that.
Wait, boomers love rollerblading?
No.
I feel like Gen X loved rollerblading.
Gen X loved rollerblading. But you know, he really, though, he would slay it and he would do it in my neighborhood. He also is a chef and he he owns a catering company. My mom books the parties. Yeah. So I've been doing this trash since I was a zygote.
Yeah.
Shout out to zygotes. And you know,
shout out to zygotes.
But he would really do that, sustain a horrid injury on the pavement, go back, cook for the party,
and
go home,
for the party.
Work it out, buy an Amish candle. I think that
the shotgun is fake.
Did we finish? We did. Yeah, I think the shotgun is real. But you're a lawyer. You don't think that that's plausible?
I mean, I think it's plausible, but
I don't think it's crazy.
What do you think?
They all seem plausible at this point.
Final answer?
Let's think. Number one is fake. Let's just go for it.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
I just feel like it's, number one's fake. All right.
The ladybugs are killing me.
What do we not get?
Real. Oh, no.
Oh, it's real.
Which one's fake?
I told you.
You did.
Shout out to telling you.
Those are just my ladybugs.
Yes. Shout out to Lindsey.
Did you see that?
I'm sorry. No, you first.
No. Did you see that his sister has said that she's definitely
gonna run.
running?
She just declared.
She's definitely running.
While I was traipsing about in the green room, she's
banging around in the green room.
I did slam the door when I was in there.
I know we heard it.
We were on air.
It's not your fault because the problem with this door is
that door.
I don't know, because sometimes it's a soft close and other times it's
shout out to soft close.
You don't think that man with a beard couldn't put a piece of foam rubber down?
Get him in here. Get him in here.
What I'm going to say is this,
Mr. Iheart.
The fact that his name is Lindsey.
Mm-hmm.
That's
you don't like that?
I just think from the jump.
So do you feel like all names like that? So
No.
Lindsey, Robin, Pat.
I, as someone who is married to my partner, who is a woman and is the one who does all of the butch work in our home.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't subscribe, even before that, to the normative nature of names. That being said, when that child came out twisting in the wind with a bit of sugar in the tank, the name Lindsey should have been a demonstrative clause. I mean, also like all these like foghorn, leghorn sounding gay people.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I said, I'm ladybugs down there.
For sure.
He does. He is giving a lot of Scarlett O'Hara, right? Yeah.
But I mean, now, I'm going to give my favorite recent Mitch McConnell quote.
Oh, I'm ready.
Is that fucked up? I'm sorry.
No, it's not. Because
I'm a bartender. Why
You're listening to the last episode of Brief
No. Here's the reason why it's not fucked up is because it's
election
true.
fraud.
But it's true though, right?
They're
It's
waiting until the filing deadline.
Right, because he has absolutely glitched out in front of all of us.
For years. 3 years ago, I had a thing on my phone. And here's the thing. Is this true that James Carville is Bashir's campaign manager? Is that something that is true, or did I just read that online?
I have no idea.
CJ?
CJ's looking it up. Fact checking.
Did he get out of the Walmart with the TV or not?
I love that he knows how to invoke CJ.
Well, we met in the elevator. You weren't there. Why is the hallway like that down there? It's like a Faustian hellscape.
Right straight to camera. Tell Iheart.
Well, straight behind the camera. Why is it like that? Bob Iheart.
Bob Iheart.
I'd do better.
Tales from the DMs. Melissa's line.
Friends. While Michael is a lawyer, he's not your lawyer, so go get your own.
Yeah.
I really want to read this because I'm a little bit irritated at it. So let me just say, I am not expecting universal likability, right? Like, we are not for everybody, and that's okay. No, seriously, it's not okay, right? There's a podcast for everyone, and if we are not your podcast, that's okay. However, this person, LARBB, I'm not wearing my reading glasses. Hold on.
LARB?
LARBB 3 weeks ago said they do repetitive loops and talk about really tedious stuff sometimes, especially when they talk about political things. It's often very ignorant or wrong about basic stuff. Parentheses. Reflection pool, LOL. It's reflecting pool. So that's a little painful. I usually listen to about 8 minutes and then I remember. Let me tell you something. Come here. Because I am open to being educated about things, when I looked it up, you stupid motherfucker.
Yeah, that's right.
It's interchangeable. reflection. I don't mind being called out on stuff, but make it make sense. You're wrong. And what I really think is really irritating
of all the things we're wrong all the time.
I know.
But it's the one thing we were right about.
But the idea that it's interchangeable, and because I was worried, I'm like, oh, maybe they're right. So I looked it up and found out that we weren't
it's the
wrong.
Same thing.
It's the same thing. You could have done the same thing.
We're using all the data on our phones to Google it.
I don't mind that someone doesn't like us. I don't mind that we could be wrong about things.
Yeah.
But you did not take the time to bother to look at Google is your friend and it's free.
Not Mélissa beefing with Laura.
Let me tell you something. Alexa, play Reflection from Mulan.
It really annoyed me.
Who?
No licensing.
No singing.
We can't license the song.
You
can speak the lyrics. Yeah.
And I have another one that I want to read, which is actually okay. Ignorant and rude from It Was Recommended.
Okay.
Well, they lost
pouring.
me. Stop pouring. Well, they lost me. This week's episode about Luigi Mangione revealed both hosts to be ignorant of pretty much anything besides themselves. Michael, especially.
Yeah.
I can't stand, sorry, I can't see. That's why I can't see. I can't stand his nasty superior attitude when he doesn't know basic history, geography, or culture.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't believe that Karen and Georgia have these people in their network. Unsubscribing now.
I agree.
Listen to me.
I wrote that.
No. But again, I think it's fine if we're not for everybody, because we're not, right? I was listening to a podcast recently that apparently lots of people love, and I listened to a few episodes, and it was not for me. Not because of anything, but like, I gotta tell you, the one host, the voice, that was what it was.
It'll get you.
No, hold on. That's what it was. But it's okay.
Yeah.
But I think that
I really don't know any geography or history.
No one said you did.
And I was the child left behind. Like there was one.
Is that
and
where you left your phone case?
I went to an unaccredited high school.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you know what? It's education in America.
Unaccredited?
They got unaccredited during 11th grade. They called an assembly and they were like,
we don't have time for this.
Excited to announce this school just got accredited.
Did your mom and dad know that you were going to this random school owned by Bob?
Alexa,
Bob Iheart?
Bob Iheart, Robert Iheart.
Alexa, call mom.
Well,
no, but I mean, I think, again, if there's something, I don't mind not knowing about something. Being ignorant is okay because if you're willing to learn, it's fine. Being stupid is something else. Stupid is as stupid does, right?
Alexa, play The Rose by Bette Midler.
But if there's something that we have gotten wrong, I am very open to being corrected.
Yeah.
But
correct her. Don't correct me because I don't care.
No. Especially correct him.
Yeah.
Because white men and their egos.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're flanked by him. You're flanked by him.
She said sorry to her mic.
No, I said sorry.
You know what I see? I
said sorry to the noise.
Never mind.
No, say it.
No, it wasn't funny and I had nothing to follow it up with. I got nothing. But I will say this. You should get a phone case. I think that, wait, can I read this one?
Yeah.
Read this
my
one.
My friend's mother had a toe amputated due to diabetes.
Oh my God.
She asked her podiatrist for a 10% discount. The podiatrist told her they charge by the foot.
Do you know why that person wrote in?
I don't know about that one. I know that your cat has 3 legs and a man called you fat at the airport.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. I have a lot of free time.
No, but I love.
Please hire me. I'd be great on a podcast.
But only somebody who really listens.
Good stuff though. And he said, you must have been eating. When he said, you've been eating a lot. What did he say to you?
He was like, "Madam, you've changed."
Madam,
and
right? In French too. It's like, no.
Yeah. And then he was like, "Because you used to eat a lot."
That was really crazy.
Fat.
Someone wrote in about manicures. A woman with one arm got a manicure.
Right, one hand got a manicure.
And she booked a full 50-minute appointment.
And they charge her full price
because she booked a 50-minute appointment.
Right.
That's wild.
And she got a 50-minute appointment with the one hand.
They have 5 cuticles,
And then she asked for a discount at the register, and the guy was
the original person was like, I don't know that you need.
Have y'all followed this woman who got pulled over for texting with the phone in her right hand?
Yeah.
She had a nut. She doesn't have a hand. She's fab.
She's amazing.
She should be the president.
She should come up.
Listen to me, Ben.
I always do.
Anybody.
Could be.
Almost anybody. If there's anything that this president has told us is that all your dreams can come true.
I'm a bartender on an iHeartRadio podcast. Why?
No. But but anybody.
So you know what? Ask for that discount.
But truly, anybody can be president of the United States.
The great fallacy of the American dream is that this culture is a meritocracy and that things are earned and that, you work your way up and that everything is given. And, I and everyone of my, sort of flop millennial generation was like really on Tumblr, like dreaming and like hustling and doing it all. And then
you were on Tumblr?
Well,
if you're on Tumblr and MySpace, it's time to book an appointment with a cardiologist.
You have to have insurance for that, so clock it.
It's time for a statin, probably.
MySpace, I think it's time for a colonoscopy.
Colonoscopy if you remember MySpace.
But what I'm saying is that, Tumblr is for pictures of people standing the wrong way, and for those who get it. I'm just saying that it's like the fallacy of Donald Trump being the president of the United States shows all the people of my generation that it's like, you did your best and you worked real hard at it and you were so good at your job, but you know what? Yeah. Private equity owns the cocktail bar. So what are you going to do? Have a Lindsey Graham on the air.
Have a Lindsey Graham
Ladybug explosion.
Beautiful.
Let me ask you.
We gotta go. We
got one more. No, one more. Is there any private equity that owns bars and stuff, as far as you're aware?
Oh, yeah.
And has it changed?
Well, I mean, I think that major restaurant groups are bought into by private equity. I'm not going to name names, but but I think a lot of the larger conglomerates have larger investors. And again, I think the trend is that, especially in New York, where it is so inherently unaffordable, like people like me that want to open a bar or have wanted to, my partner, my wife as well, we wanted to together. It is not a viable dream because A, the rent is so high, and B, those who are able to pay it have the insurance of different backers from all over the place that, they get their return no matter what, but they're the ones that front you the money to do it. So what I will say is that, the yardstick, the yard post, the post in the yard, the post office, the thing that qualifies the success rate is changing all the time. So I will say that, yes, it is very much involved.
Okay.
Thank you for making us drinks. Thank you for having our summer break.
And I'm going to propose one more thing.
Yes, please do.
I think that I should come back for a holiday episode.
Yes.
And I think I should make a spooky pumpkin drink because I'm from Salem, Massachusetts.
Okay. Shout out to Massachusetts.
Hold on.
Anytime you want.
Yeah, no, I want. So I feel like definitely a sort of autumnal situation, but also a holiday, like something with I don't know, like a berry.
I'm a Christmas
Hanukkah
girl.
Bush martini.
Like a Hanukkah Bush, a Kwanzaa cocktail.
Where can people find you if they want to block you?
My Instagram. Those who have not blocked me, I'm at Ben Hopkins on Instagram. I teach bartending. I write about bartending. I'm around.
Reach out.
I'm hilarious. You should book me to give me a podcast. Why not? I've had 2 Lindsey Grahams. Look at me. I'm fun.
Look at Ben go. And
CJ, what do you think? Thanks so much.
And even if you don't want Ben to reach out,
this is my keys. I got them at the bar. I got them at the bar. Helped unionize.
Welcome. Excuse me. Goodbye from Brief Recess.
Bye, everybody.
We will see you in court.
See you in the Amish country. Shout out to Massachusetts.
Not Mélissa. She's drunken outside.
Mélissa and I are going to the DMV to get a pretzel.
We are. Me and Don Lemon, we're lit.